Good morning, everybody. This is Sergeant Soldier channel, and this is James Peacock, the Workbench Wise Guy. And it's just, I got a little hack I want to share today. I might zoom in and out here. And let's go ahead and turn over so we can have a nice clean work surface. And what I'm going to bring to you is, I've been collecting a bunch of 21st century toys, and I'm sure a lot of you remember, well, they got a lot of little dangly bits here. Let me get the light in on that and show that off. And you got these, little bitty things for it to go through. When you want to connect the straps, you're going to have to put these things through these. Now, where I come into this most, because I only have so many of these backpacks that I've got to do, and this one's just, stuffed with paper to make it buoyant and all that. But what I run across more than anything is the butt packs. And you see, I've got this one, I've got it threaded through. And so what I was going to show you is I've got this one stuffed with a little bit of paper. This one's got a boonie cap and a flashlight in it, but it's sealed, and I hope I don't have to take it apart again. I left the dangly bits in case I want to tie a whoopee through there or something like that. Now, what I'm going to bring to you today is a simple little tool that I found that it's been effective, and it's these little needle threaders that come with most kits, and I've started noticing that it'll go through this thing real well. And then, in theory, since I'm trying to do this as an old man, is it'll pull that thing through there with a little effort. And God, you gotta be so careful. If I can get it, see how it's coming through now? And then it makes it so much easier to do that little operation. There it goes. Now I can kind of pull that taut, straighten it through, and try not to let it fall back through. And then do the same thing down here with one of these little threader tools. Let me tell you something. This thing's valuable because every time I buy a kit, I lose this thing pretty quick. And it comes in a little round wheel with a whole bunch of different size needles that has a little thing on top of it that you can slide in and out. For some reason, I'll just set this thing down all the time and do that. See if we can get this one right. And it makes it a whole lot easier to thread and then pull through instead of trying to sit there and aim your way through. And all I got to do is, I've only got one eye, so it's my judgment of distance is always a little bit off, but there we go. See if we can get that to pull through this time too. There we go. Pulls through, and then set that one, and then go over and do the other side, and that'll have that cinched down, and you can do like I did on the other one and kind of tie it off in a square knot so it doesn't open up. And anyway, that would make this operation of getting everything cinched down when once I've got it stuffed with grenades. And I wonder if anybody makes a 1/6 scale whoopee, like the nylon camouflage woodland camo that I had back in the day, sewn in, to keep the stuffing in and all that. But 1/6 scale, I haven't seen them around. But anyway, that's how I'm kind of handling this old 21st century stuff. With, they didn't just go ahead and use. I mean, this would have been way better to use an elastic band. I mean, even though they do kind of wear out, but it is a testament to these nylon strips that they used, that they're still intact and they're still going. And if they're stitched in there good, they don't come out, but they're just so dadgum fiddly to get in there. And it looks like Look at this. Look at this. This is from the factory. I'm just now noticing this. That it's got there's a stitch in it to hold it together, even though those need to come apart. I think I'm gonna wait until I get a razor blade in here to kind of cut through that. Oh, we got one in here. Hey, look at that. And yeah, that's not supposed to be crossed like that. That's funny. But, don't cut into the seam. It'll start fraying. Here we go. All right. Now I'll be able to cinch that down, eventually do that, and put someone in a ruck, and I'm going to try to put some weights in the bottom so it sags like one. I don't know where the frames are and how that would fit on there, but you know, this, to me, this is like you taking a whole bunch of weight out and you're gonna use just the straps instead of the frame. And I don't think I've ever seen one of those frames. I guess I'd have to get a modern one or a modern set to maybe find that in there. But this is going to be my RTO pack. So I've got to be able to connect my radio, which I don't think I have out right now. I've got a whole bag full of just, there's another backpack. There's the radio antenna thing I'm going to connect. I hate these little loop connectors. Now, I was wondering how I was going to kind of take care of putting ammo packs and stuff like that, because right now all I've got on here, that's one of theirs. These little, you know, they're aging, and boy, you got to be careful when you start cinching that up, you know, to make it tight around the waist for display and stuff like that, because that plastic will just come completely apart. And let me see if I can pull out real quick. Yeah, here we go. Here I've used some, I mean, I'm trying to be clever. I'm using paper clips looped in there so that these loop on, but I don't know why it took me so long to remember. And that's a Cotswold web belt, which I'm replacing all of these with the Cotswold G.I. Joe look. And I don't have to have it realistic. It's more important to me that it's be G.I. Joe. Like, I'm replacing all the canteens also with the canteen covers, because they just slide on. And God, that would be so great if these would do the same thing. But I remembered how I did this, you know, 25, 30 years ago when I was collecting from 21st Century. And I have ordered them, but it comes from the head of I'm taking push pins, like sewing pins with a little nail head on top. And I punched through this and just hammered them in, and you know, a little bit of super glue on the other side is once I punched them through, and then drill holes, and it never came off, and it was a good display. In fact, I got a bunch of World War II webbing that I've done that with, and I should have had that as an example out ready to go here to prove that I did do that. So I'm going to go back, I'm going to remove all these pouches and everything, see how this one's all twisted up and it won't stay still. It's not even on the right plane anymore. It drives me crazy with that little loop on there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, like nails, push pins, and hammer them in. And I'll do a little video on when I'm starting to do that. Anyway, look at that. I'm about to lose this thing. Those needle threaders. And I've ordered like a kit of 24 plastic ones that are brightly colored, red, yellow, and blue. And I am going to send out a little envelope for everybody in the Axis of Awesome to have a couple of these on hand at least, so that when you're doing these fiddly little things, trying to put all this together, you're gonna look at these old hands. That's a rat trap, by the way. Don't pick up a rusty rat trap. I'm not talking mouse trap, I'm talking about the big ones. I was moving in 2014 finally over to this house where I'm at now, and I picked one of those up and it went off on my finger, and I didn't do a damn thing about it. I just let it heal like that, and now I've got a boo. and but they're all broken. Those are from football. Both of my middle, that's from football. That's from catching the football. But having to work kind of with all this, it really helps to have all these little tools like this. Anyway, that's Sergeant Soldier channel with the Workbench Wise guy today. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all have a good morning.